How are we? So not that good. Right. Anybody drinking? Alright, thank God. That's going to make this easier. It's like a blind date. The drunker you get, the better this will be. See this big scary guy in front, so I'm going to scratch all my Guatemalan jokes. That, just in case any jokes that involve a really tan Mexican. No? Alright. So anyway, my name is Sharrah. For those of you who have not seen me before, I tend to use language that is off color. I tell stories that some say lack taste. And because of that, by the time I get on stage, a lot of times, there's this expectation of me, or this whole realization of me that they expect that, or they think that, I'm a chauvinist, or that I hate poor people, and it's true. But I feel like it clouds the larger picture of me. Number one, I may be a chauvinist, but I'm a gentleman. May not like them, but I'm always polite. For a perfect example, I'll hold a door for a girl, I'll put a chair for a girl. If a girl gets up from a table, I'll stand up. Best example, if I meet a girl at a bar, and I go home with that girl, the next day, I don't tell a word. I don't kiss and tell. And it's not just because I'm married. It's because I feel like it'd be uncouth of a gentleman to do so. And it's kind of bullshit, really, because I'll go home with a girl. Next day, I sneak out. None the wiser. I don't tell anybody. She tells all of her friends. And all of them call it rape. And that's bullshit. Only like 10% of that joke is true. So I'm married. I've been married for almost 8 years now. And it's fucking hard. I have a teenage cousin who's been dating this girl all through high school. And at a family party recently, he got up to me and asked me, what my thoughts were on marriage. And I was drunk, so I told him. And the analogy that my drunk mind came up with, guys, when we were like 12, 13, 14 years old, you had that one Playboy magazine or that one Penthouse magazine that your best friend stole from his older brother. And you loved that magazine. You cherished that magazine. You valued that magazine. But then like a month and a half to jacket into that magazine, you start to think to yourself, like, there's got to be other magazines out there. That's what marriage is like, only with marriage, you are contractually obligated to jacket to that magazine. And take it out to dinner, and know your pages aren't sagging, and watch every reality dance show that it wants to watch. And I realized that joke got weird towards the end. Because it's like, alright, is this guy just a bitter husband, or does he have a really strange relationship with masturbatory literature? Both are true. Both are true. So, how many married people are here tonight? Alright. So this next rest of the set's for you. So I feel personally, at this generation, it is much harder to be married than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago because of the creation of the internet. There are actually websites out there. AshleyMadison.com, there's a number of others. If I list them off, my wife would get suspicious. But they're designed for men to go out there and have discreet affairs. And personally, I just don't see how you could do that. I don't. And it's not like a moral reason, but like time management. For me to watch porn, between the wife and the daughter, I have to wait till everybody's asleep, sneak out of bed like a fucking cat burglar, replace myself with a body pillow, get out, close all the doors, turn on the TV for background noise. I'm still watching porn with the volume all the way off. I've been watching porn with the volume all the way off for so long that I've developed a fetish for mute chicks. Everybody's like, oh, it's so hard to get your partner to talk dirty in bed. Try to get her to do it in mine. See a mute girl at the end of the bar signing, immediately I just look at her. And I realize that may not be sign language accurate, but I feel like they get the gist. Hasn't worked. All joking aside though, mute chicks would be so perfect. You know how many times I've been driving home with my wife and she's nagging at me, she's arguing with me, she's fighting at me, and I close my eyes while driving. I close my eyes and just think to myself, I wish this fucking fight would go away. With the mute chick, it would actually go away. Just close your eyes, turn your head. It's done. It's done. So I have an update to that joke. So all my planning, all my careful sneaking around, recently my wife caught me masturbating. Who's been there? Alright, cowards. So anyway, everything's set up, I'm watching it, and apparently she gets up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water. That was the one part of my plan I didn't think through. It will be rectified in the future. Well, anyway, so I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, and I hear the door open. And for a second, it's like time fucking stops. You know? Like, immediately I'm thinking, right, this is the situation I'm in, strategies to get out of it. Number one, switch really quickly to ESPN and try to convince her I love cricket. Not believable. Number two, I like to call the Jurassic Park approach, which is stand just perfectly still and hope that she doesn't see me. Number three is just what I like to call like just ready for it, and I just turn around to the swivel chairs. I've been waiting for you. I went with number two. And as it turns out, my wife's optical nerves, not the same as Tyrannosaurus Rex. She saw exactly what I was doing and was weirded out that I was sitting there like this. So anyway, she's yelling at me and all this, she's really actually mad. And I'm thinking to myself, between the marriage and the dating, we've been together for 10 years. You know that I do this. Why are you mad? And then I realized, stupidly at 2 a.m., I dig at it. And I realized she's not mad at me that I'm masturbating, she's mad that I'm watching porn while I'm doing it. Which is why it's important, guys that are dating here, remember the lies you tell them while you're dating. I only think of you. I only think of you. I think porn's silly. So for a good 10, 15 minutes, I felt really guilty. I was like scolded, like a scolded dog. I felt bad. And then I remember the size of her vibrator. And if I'm only supposed to think of her, it's a two-way street, sweetheart. I don't know what 6'7" black version of me she's picturing. But let's fucking get realistic, you know? So in that last joke, I mentioned that I have a daughter. So I'm going to close on some stories about her. She'll turn 5 in a week. Thank you. There we go. Alright, so yeah, she'll turn 5 in a week, and I don't know what age exactly it was where she, went from My Little Princess to My Little Cock Block, from the apple in my eye to the blue in my balls. She knows the exact fucking moment to hit it. Well, anyway, she's like a really creative, artistic child, and there's a fine line between a creative, artistic child with a vivid imagination and her just being batshit crazy. You know what I mean? She'll run into a room, there's bats! And I'm like, alright, I'll go get the bats. Don't sit there, there's water! And at some point you're like, you don't actually see this. Right? Like, this is up here. Right? But actually a true story. With my career, I'm able to, fortunately, I get to pick her up from preschool almost every day, back when school was in session. Well, one day I go to pick her up from preschool, and they don't really do shit in preschool. But this one day, their task was to draw a family portrait, and present it in front of the class. So she did so. And again, she's really artistic, really creative. She's very good at drawing, and everything's accurate. So she draws this picture, and she presents it in front of the class. And she goes up there and she's like, well, this is a picture of me smiling. This is a picture of mommy smiling. This is a picture of daddy drinking a beer. Yeah, true story. So I get there to pick her up and this teacher pulls me aside, Mr. Jeff. And I'm angry for 2 reasons. Number one, well, I'm not angry. Well, I'm weirded out, number one, that I'm being scolded by a guy named Mr. Jeff. And number two, I'm like in the back of my head, I'm thinking, is this going to be a CPS conversation? Like, where is this going? And so anyway, I got her home, and on the way home, I called my boss, and I kind of was telling him what was going on, and he was laughing about it. He's like, this is why I hide my drinking from my kids. I drink in coffee mugs, etc. And my thought is, if I'm going to lie to my daughter, I'm going to fucking lie to my daughter. So, no, scratch the coffee mugs. I went out and bought some high-end Halloween costumes and mannequins. And now when Daddy drinks at home, he sets them up. So the next time she draws a picture of it at class, she'll be like, oh, this is a picture of Daddy pounding whiskey with a leprechaun and a dragon. Dude, I'm an alcoholic. They'll just think that she's a little fucking liar. Oh, hey guys, I'm Ryan Sharrah.